the stock market has crashed, and you're probably thinking, oh my God, this is an opportunity. You know, it's on its recovery, but what should I buy? Which stocks do I buy? Stocks should I buy? And so you've probably done some Googling, and you've asked some friends, you've asked some families, you might have even consulted some gurus out there. You might be kind of confused and stuck in like an analysis paralysis type of situation right now, and confused as to what stocks to buy. You know, it's not like you have an infinite supply of money, so you gotta be selective. Well, today I have great news for you guys. You don't have to think about that anymore, because I'm about to show you a free tool that is going to do all of that for you and take care of the decision making so you don't have to do it. Okay, so let's get right into it. All right, so you should see my phone background, my awesome Superman wallpaper. And obviously we're going to be going to our go-to app, what I consider to be the absolute best stock investing app for beginners. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I've been raving about this app ever since it came out in January. And we've spent a lot of time talking about this right here. If you look at, I think you can, yeah, you can see my cursor. So we've been spending a lot of time talking about the SPY Plus portfolio, which I'm just going to load up real quick here, because it's been kicking ass. Pardon my language, but it's warranted. It is positive 13% for the year. You know, last I checked, the S&P 500 is still negative. You know, because it had such a nasty crash. This app was able to dodge it completely, and is just pure gains. Right? There's a little bit of a dip here. Right? This was a little bit troublesome, but look at how it recovered afterwards. Right? It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But today is not about the SPY Plus app. It's about its baby brother, or baby sister, I should say, the SPY portfolio. And until recently, I've been very critical of this particular portfolio, because I invested money into it the day it came out, and I put in $150 just to take it out for a test drive. I wasn't very confident into the stocks that it had inside of it. So let's open it, because now my mind is completely changed, and I'll show you why. So I only put in the minimum amount, and just to show you guys what's going to happen with it. And if you recall some of my previous videos, my performance for this was pretty atrocious, and I'll show you that in a second. But since then, the entire portfolio has kind of changed. You can see here that it sold all that other stuff all by itself, right? And it couldn't have sold it soon enough. I feel like it was a little bit late, but better late than never, right? Most people never sell, and they're spending many years trying to recover because they didn't have the foresight or the courage even to sell and minimize and cut their losses. The majority of investors, the buy and hold index fund, mutual fund types of investors, spend the vast majority of their time recovering from crashes. So like a crash would last 1 year, and they spend the next 4 years, for example, just trying to break even. If you look, let's just go through it one by one, okay? Let's just see how bad that it did, right? Because I'm nothing if not impartial, right? I'm gonna call it like I see it. So CNTY, look at this. It bought it at 22 and sold it for 12. I lost like 40% on that one stock. Next, we had Nokia, bought at 20, sold at 19. Okay, minimal loss there. MFA, I bought it at 21. Wow, this one was awful. Sold it at 6. That was an atrocious performance right there. But again, I only had $150 in this particular portfolio, and it was just to take it out for a test drive. I didn't really care that much. It was more of an experiment to take it out for a test drive so that I could take the risk and make these videos for you guys, and you wouldn't have to. So you would know, stick with the SPY Plus, right? But now I have completely changed my mind because it got rid of all that stuff, and let's take a look at what it's buying now. BAC is a Bank of America, if I'm not mistaken. XOM is Exxon Mobil. These are all really good buys because they pay good dividends, right? I've been eyeing Bank of America and Exxon myself, so I guess I'm a little bit biased. I do have a little bit of a confirmation bias that like stocks that I was eyeballing because of the dividend payment was happened to be picked up by the same by this AI. I don't know if it's kind of like reading my mind or what. It's kind of spooky actually. But Bank of America and XOM have been on my, I can even prove it to you, have been on my radar for even before this AI picked it up. And of course you have the SPY-G and Chef, the the CHEF is pretty cool as well. I looked it up. It is a food services, like a food provider stock. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I think we're gonna need to see more and more of that going up. So I never heard of it before, but I'm pretty confident in that purchase, but just because of the sector that it's in. So it's holding. Oh, and lastly, I think I skipped over this, but it's also holding AT&T, which is also known for its dividend payments. So it's very dividend heavy, and I really like that. And you can see that these yellow dots are indicating that it's holding all 6. And just in case you're wondering, I do have the upgraded version of this as well for my retirement accounts. And in that version, I get to see what kind of algorithms is being utilized for SPY-I. What kind of algorithm and strategy is the AI using to hold these 6 positions? And it's very similar to just, unless something crazy happens, it's just gonna buy and hold. It's about as close as you can get with to a buy and hold situation. So what we're really going for here is a hold on to it for a year, 2, maybe, like, I don't know, however many years, and just collect dividends, because there's way more certainty in collecting dividends than than the actual performance of the stock itself. So this is pretty cool actually. So let's just go through each of these. I'm gonna go with my favorite one, which is Exxon. So it only bought 1 share. Because I only have like 150 or like $250 in this or something like that. Right up here we have January, and then here's the downfall. Right, it looks really nasty. And I mean, how awesome would it have been to buy this stock at 31? You know, that would have been really awesome. But no one's perfect. Even this AI can't time the market perfectly. I think I actually bought this manually on my own. A little bit at a better price than what this one got it at 40. But the real benefit here is this number right here. The dividend yield is 8%. Okay, so if you're not familiar with what that means that right now, since I have 1 share, this is going to be easy math. So right now, by holding this, I am going to get 8% of this amount, whatever the value is, per year. And it's paid out, I think, every quarter. So it's like 2% per quarter. If the value of this goes up, then so does my dividend payment. And if I have more shares of it, then, you know, multiply my payment per share times however many shares I have. And so right now I plan on putting dumping a lot more money into this, what I consider to be more of a dividend oriented portfolio. It's not, you don't see that labeled anywhere, but based on what I can see, the SPY-I has algorithmically transformed itself from just picking like oddly risky stocks, and it kind of transformed itself into a dividend oriented type of portfolio. And right now I think that's a really good move. Not gonna lie, I might be a little bit biased that it picked 2 stocks that I was eyeballing already, so it made me feel good about myself. And also picked up Carnival Cruise Lines, which I was like kind of more iffy about. I was open to it because it was so cheap. Let's look at that real quick. In January, it was trading at like 50, and then it dropped all the way down to like, yeah. See, at one point it was like at seven, at like $8, like just under $8. What did I buy? What did this app buy it at? Oh, I bought it twice. It bought it on April 3rd. 2 shares at April 3rd. Oh, it did buy it at $8. That's awesome. Only 2 shares, so it's like, whatever. And then it bought, I guess it bought 2 more on April 13th at 11. When I saw that the stock picks had changed and shifted, I felt a lot more confident about it, so I put more money in it. Just to get familiar with how to, contribute more into an account. So just I threw another $100 in there, and it must have bought 2 more shares, all by itself. Like, I'm not doing any decision making here. This is all completely algorithmically managed. So that's a pleasant surprise. I'm glad I caught a couple of shares at least at $8. Again, like, I'm not gonna get rich off of throwing a couple of $100 in here, right? But the point is to show you, imagine it's not a couple hundred, but it's a couple of thousand or tens of thousands. Like, imagine being able to make the decisions based on this app, in your retirement account or in your other trading platform. This can be an incredible tool, right? And if you've been on the fence about certain stocks, well, I mean, you have a professionally managed hedge fund manager decision making platform at your fingertips for free. So there's really no reason to ignore it. I would say throw $150 in there and let it do its thing and make your decisions based in your bigger account where you have a lot more money. Make your decisions based on what you guys see here. I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer if you ask me. Let's look at some of the other ones. So Chef, CHEF, is the Chef's Warehouse stock. Never heard of it before myself, to be quite honest with you. But you can see that it did drop like crazy, and now it is trading at, wow, like $3 a share at its bottom, and now it's closer to like 10 and whatever. Okay. So it is a bargain, and this one doesn't pay any dividends. You can see that this one is not paying any dividends, but it's just that it's food. For the foreseeable future, food distribution is going to be critical. It's critical now, and it's only going to get even more and more important as time goes on. So I guess just based on the sector and the industry that it's in, and based on the performance of it, the AI decided this was a good one to pick for the like the food services or the food industry. I don't even really know how to talk about it. That's not really been my thing. I'm more of a tech guy. But I mean, I think it's just picking up a stock in a different industry to diversify itself, and it's a really, really good deal. At its high, it was trading at what, like, it was trading near $40, and we're buying it for, like, even if you bought it today, you'd be buying it for like 12, which is like 70% off. Based on technicals and knowing what industry it's in, I'm very, very confident in this pick. And here's the thing, like, this is a really good education tool as well. Like, I learned something. I learned about Chef's Warehouse. I hadn't heard of that before. I didn't know that this had this was keeping an eye on a stock in the food industry. So that's pretty cool. So that about wraps up today's video on the SPY portfolio. I showed you some bonus features as well. If you have a few $100 to get started, you're just starting out as a beginning stock investor, this is the best place to do it. This is a place where you can earn while you learn buying and selling decision making. You can see that I already have myself around $2,500 into into this app myself. So I will keep you guys updated as to what happens with my performance in. I have money in the Spy Plus. I have money in the Spy Eye, and I'm looking forward to how that performs. It was a very pleasant surprise to see that it modified itself all automatically, and you can see that I'm also holding Wells Fargo, some Exxon, and Disney myself. These are just stocks that I bought manually. So I'm doing all three, right? Both algorithmic portfolios and trading manually, and I'll keep you guys updated as to how I'm doing and how it goes pretty much every week. So if you're here, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you follow, make sure you hit the notification bells, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.